It is 9 o'clock precisely. For most of us, chicken maintenance means deciding whether to roast or grill. But for the journalist Martin Gurdon, it means a labour of love and a life-changing experience.
Yes, he's written a book about his collection of feathered friends, Hen and the Art of Chicken Maintenance, called, and it reads like a bit of a soap opera, as well as a guide for the amateur chicken keeper. And Martin joins us now with his friend. And who is this friend?
Good morning to you both.
Good morning. This is Peeping Chicken. Actually, she wrote the book. I just ghosted it.
Oh, I see. Now, but you're a motoring journalist, aren't you? So why did you end up writing about chickens?
Well, it's kind of my wife's fault. I kept chickens for a time when I was a child, and we had a sort of circular conversation that went, "You'd like to keep chickens again, wouldn't you?" And thank you for your contribution. What we'll do is we'll pop her back in the box for the moment.
Okay, just as she's a little bit calmer.
Well, absolutely.
She's got a lot to say for herself this morning.
She certainly
that's what
does.
it is.
And we got a few birds, and it became a kind of feathery soap opera of sex, death, and birdseed all over the studio floor. And I ended up writing a book about it, largely because they made our friends laugh.
Is it as Hen and the Art of Chicken Maintenance? Is it as life-changing as the original Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance?
Well, I think it might be Confessions of a Sad Bloke Who Works from Home. I mean, my office used to be a brick wash house in the back garden, and I would get a constant stream of feathery visitors and eggs in my in tray. And in the end, I put an old cat box in there so we could have a sort of procession of birds who'd come in and lay eggs and tootle off out again.
And how many have you got now?
We have 7 at the moment.
Okay, and do you notice a real sort of, social dynamic going on between them?
Do they have personalities?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have Elvis, a girl with a boy's name, who's a vintage chicken of about 7, whom I wouldn't have brought here because she would have got very twitchy. She's very nervous.
Yes.
And she rushes around like a sort of dowager hysteric. And we have another one called Egghead, who's a sort of sit-down chicken with absurd ruffles. And a cockerel who's a kind of male bimbo. And I wear Wellington boots when I go and see him because he sort of comes out and does his boxers dancing around. Come on. And then so I get in and he looks at my boots and runs away.
Now, how can I put this delicately in front of Peeping Chicken? What happens? What are the emotions you go through when the great call for the chicken to do its utmost in the roasting tray comes?
What are you saying? No, listen, hush your ears, little Peeping Chicken.
Would I eat a friend? Well, we do eat chicken, which I suppose is a passive hypocrisy, but I mean, these are pets. I mean, people keep all sorts of farm animals and livestock as pets, and this is something that we chose to do. So yeah, I'm quite comfortable with doing that.
You haven't just got chickens, have you? It sounds like you've got a whole sort of zoo at your house.
Well, there's 1 cat and 1 dog. I mean, it actually sounds as if I need to go to the doctor. Really, you haven't just got chickens. Yeah, I mean, we have a dog that turned up by the side of the road, and a cat who's a sort of retired tart from Ilford. But they tend not to mix.
I was rather hoping that a little Peeping Chicken would sit on my lap, but I don't think she's going to.
I think it might not be a good idea. I mean, it's nothing personal.
It's all right. I've already agreed with the editor that he's going to pay the dry cleaning bill, so it's fine.
I mean, you're welcome to have it if you want, but I think it might have got a little wriggling.
Might get a little overexcited. Now, do you tell why do the chicken cross the road jokes in your house?
Well, a lot of people ask us that, and I've got a sort of standard reply, which is to get away from the joke about why did the chicken cross the road,
But as a motoring journalist, you must, as you're testing these cars, you must have scattered a few chickens in your time as you hair through these things.
Well, he said, my mind has gone completely blank when you asked that question. No, I've never pursued a chicken in a car, although I did run across the road in front of my car when I was on the way to MOT it, and that was a lost chicken. That was a silkie that belonged to a neighbour, and she was out in a wood for about 3 or 4 days. And in the end, we went and rescued her, and she was reunited with her owner after about a week. And she ended up being a parent.
Might she peck me if I try and feed her or not? Ooh,
try that, see what happens.
Go on then, see?
There you go.
There you go. Breakfast here on breakfast.
Absolutely.
Which one?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, and this bird, I mean, the owner was really sweet. I mean, we turned up, this bird had been very depressed. And she was called Delilah, and her boyfriend was a cockerel called Samson, and we brought her back in the cat box, and she suddenly became very animated. And there was Samson who did this sort of happy war dance round her, Hello, love, where have you been?
So you'd recommend keeping chickens for everyone?
Well,
I mean, where appropriate.
If you've got enough space, they are relatively low maintenance. They are endlessly funny, and I think
that was me.
They're nice to have around, and I'll be hearing from your lawyer as well.
Yes, probably. Yeah. Well, I shall just mix that with my tea. It's fine. I'll just put that in for later. later on. We can sort that out later.
Bit of roughage.
Cup of tea.
Martin.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, great pleasure. And yeah, what a star. What can we say?
Well, how about this for a gear change now? After a rocky start in 1953, Panorama evolved into the BBC's flagship current